So in the last year, I've been helping run my fiance's ads, and she has scaled to over $30,000 a month. And the way that we did this is that we took a few very simple and basic steps I'm going to walk through today for her fitness coaching business to scale it up. And literally at this point, because of what we've implemented and all the work that she's doing herself, because she's a killer, she's actually a great fitness coach, is that she is on the track for hitting 50, 100K months. I'm gonna show you why it's so reliable and predictable at this point. I'm gonna walk through literally step by step, showing you the thought process and how we actually achieve this, okay? And this is all kudos to her. I am a fitness growth marketer. I help fitness businesses grow, and I help great businesses grow. So if you're a shit coach, or if you have no client testimonials, or if you can't close a sales call to save your life, you will fail at this. But if you are a skilled fitness coach that's competent, who has a slightly above average IQ, what I'm going to cover today might be the most valuable training, because it's literally, I'm literally doing this. Like, I literally have a finger on the pulse, if that's even a saying, of what's going on in all of this. Okay. About a year ago, Abby, her name, was running a fitness coaching business, right? And I think she was doing like 8, 10, 12K. Like, she was doing good by a lot of many standards. Like, she was doing good. Now, here's the thing that kind of the problem number one that we wanted to figure out. So problem number one is that she was targeting everyone. Okay. So she was part of mentorships and other programs to learn how to build her business, which was awesome. They gave her a ton of guidance on how to get going here, and she grew to 8 to 10K a month, which is perfect. But how do we actually take a online fitness coaching business from like a one-person business to an actual enterprise that in theory she might be able to exit in a few years? Well, the first thing we have to do is we had to get very clear on who the target demo is. And in online business, it's sort of a cringe thing about finding your niche, but really, if you find the right niche and you lean heavily into that niche, you can be the go-to person in that space. And that's how I think this business will probably, like, she could sell this business for 8 figures in a few years, and I'll explain why. So for the niche, she actually had experience as a nurse. So she was a nurse. She went to college to be a nurse. She got a degree in nursing. And so we were like, why don't you just lean heavily into nursing, right? So this niche is powerful. Here's why, okay? So obviously she predominantly works with women. Nurses are predominantly women. They have solid income, right? They have a very unique set of problems. Okay, that's gonna be huge. We'll dive into that here in a second. What I absolutely cringe at, and I literally, it disgusts me. Quite frankly, it disgusts me. I see these ads, copy and paste, all over the place for these online fitness coaches. They start to be like, are you a busy professional? You're probably making tons of money. You're probably like, it's just so bad. All these, I don't know whose course is telling them to do this. These talking head videos with these pop-up texts, and they're saying everyone's targeting busy professionals and entrepreneurs. And you just look like a moron. So with this is targeting a demographic and then building a story. Building the story. Okay. So there was a post that I saw that she put up that was like a side by side. It was her in her nursing outfit when she was nursing, and then her when she was about to like a couple weeks out from her fitness competition. So she was a nurse. She was working these night shifts. She was experiencing these problems so she could connect with a customer on a very deep level. But Patrick, I wasn't a nurse. I wasn't part of a target demographic. Okay, you have to see who your current client base is and then tell stories about your clients. So if you want to lean into a target demographic that was not something that you're a part of, right? Then you have to tell the stories of your clients or build a story around that. Or if someone in your personal life was maybe part of that, you have to, however you do it, building the story is so massive. Okay. That helps people from a cold perspective. We're going on the market, and what I do is launching ads that will help them stop, obviously get called out because like attention nurses, attention target demographic, but also to get bought in is building the story, which is so massive. Okay, so what did we actually do here? So I then identified a winning Instagram post. Okay, so she's already posting content consistently. That's how she already scaled to $8,000 to $10,000 a month. So I want to figure out what's some winning content. I saw that post of it was basically a side by side of her and the nurse, so nurse and her flexing here. Okay, that's her flexing. Okay, so side by side, and there was a carousel element. I was like, okay, that post is interesting. That's clearly working. Let's see if we can get this up and start running ads. Now at the time, she definitely had what I call a leaky bucket. And that's why I'm very happy that she got some more consulting, worked with more business coaches to really figure out her whole sales process and nurture process. But what she was able to do is we launched ads. I think we're spending maybe $20 to $30 a day to start on some basic Instagram DM ads. Okay. And I actually had her do a lead magnet. So what we did is we said, okay, our target demo is nurses. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a free resource, a free guide targeting towards those nurses. And it's going to be a guide about, how to navigate the unique problems of a nurse, which are night shifts, meal planning, right? Because these nurses have 12-hour shifts, stress management. So there's these unique problems that certain demographics and customers experience, right? So you want to figure out what those very unique problems are. This is the secret sauce right here. Unique problems. Yes, everyone wants to lose 10 pounds of fat. Everyone wants to gain muscle. All these things are generic. Everyone and their mother wants to solve these problems. But if you can pinpoint and truly understand your customer on a very personal level, what those unique problems are that they're facing on a regular basis, right? Think about all these demographics, right? Let's think about like a postnatal mom. A postnatal mom, she's experienced. I had a call with a massive fitness coach that was selling info products. There was something called like I'm a dude. I don't know shit. If you're a girl watching this, you might know. It's like pelvic floor strengthening. The pelvic floor strengthening. This is a unique problem post-birth, right? Pelvic floor strengthening. That's a unique problem. And when you say that problem out in the market, you say, hey, did you just have a kid and you're having these problems? Well, here's a free guide on how to solve that. Like that reaches the customer and gets them to take out their, at least submit a lead magnet or opt-in form and then jump on a call with you. But that's not shit that no one can really, this is the advanced wizard marketing that literally you get these few things aligned, and that's why we can scale this up, which I'll get into here in a bit on why we're now in the phase of predictable revenue and predictable growth. Okay, beautiful. So we have a lead magnet. It's targeting unique problems, and I have trainings that might already be live on this channel that go over how to exactly to create a lead magnet like this. Okay, so now we're spending the money. So basically right now we launched a few tests of ads. The carousel was a clear winner. Now we're starting to get $3 to $6 per message. So if we were spending $20, $30 a day, what is that? Like 6 to 10, maybe like 10 messages a day, right? 10 conversations a day with qualified, ideal client profile, dream clients that we can talk to. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. No more are we sending out cold messages or relying on content. We're actually having people come inbound consistently. Now, at first, we kept everything manual. So like we'd send the guide, we'd send the resource, then we'd follow up with them in Instagram DMs. But this is just the beautiful art of appointment setting, right? And so you can do this yourself. You can hire someone to do this. She has an amazing setter that's based in the United States. You can look overseas and work with virtual assistants that are much cheaper. All depends. There's pros and cons of that. Maybe I'll create another video about appointment setting and hiring out appointment setting. But she was able to work these leads in appointment set, consume a piece of content, build that trust through the lead magnet, and eventually book the call. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. What is going on here? So we went from $8,000 to $10,000 a month all over the place. Variety of clients. We haven't even got to the sauce yet, because this is how everything from this niche part, which is the most cliche online business topic ever. What's your niche? This actually is the most powerful thing. It's the biggest lever. It's like an offer. What's the most powerful lever you can pull? So now things are going well. Okay, so what are we doing now? So if we're getting $3 to $6 messages, this is the first KPI we're looking at. Okay, what are we looking at now? Cost per call. Okay. How much is it costing us to get a call on the calendar, right? The cost per qualified call that shows typically is obviously the ideal scenario. So very quickly we realized we were getting cost per calls for like about maybe $100 roughly. I don't have the exact numbers from a year ago pulled up. So let's just say between like $50 and $150 a call. Okay. It might have even been cheaper than that now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. So let's just say for this example purposes, the cost per call was $100. And let's just say her close percentage on the low end was 30%. So that means like 1 in 3 people that come on these calls. All right. So we spent $300 for 3 calls and then one of them closed. That's a $300 customer acquisition cost. So when we're doing anything in digital marketing and paid advertising and spending to acquire customers, the 2 metrics that we're looking at here is CAC and LTV, right? So CAC, customer acquisition cost, how much does it cost us to acquire that customer, and the lifetime value, how much is that customer worth to us? Now, her programs were, $2K, it was like $2,000 to $2,500, and she did some work to increase those prices and whatever, and I won't get into the ins and outs of that, and pricing strategy for initial front-end offer. Then you have the back-end offer, which is even stronger, right? So the LTV truly for a customer at this point, a year later, is probably 3,000, 4,000 plus on average because we sign them onto the front end offer and then after that period's done, we get them onto the back end offer. Okay. But for the sake of this, 2K to 2,500. So what I'm looking at right here is I need to make sure that we're bringing customers in the door to account for all of her expenses, her assistant coach, her ad spend, right? The acquisition cost, everything like that. To make that profitable, we just need reliable CAC and LTV. Once we have reliable CAC and LTV, that's where things get very scary and very dangerous, and why we're able to scale to like 34, 35K in the last 30 days. I think we can push 50 in the next 30 days because of this thing. Okay. So here's the thing about this. So like, you remember how I said about the close percentage, about like 30%, because she started getting all nurses. The customer was the exact same. You jump on a sales call, they're the exact same person. They're dealing with the same exact issues, right? So it's very easy to just qualify them, talk about their issues, and then close them. Plus her personal story also helps them relate. So the sales calls process were insane. Also, working with an amazing program that is helping her and a mentor that's helping her on the sales side, right? I'm a marketer. I get you leads and I help get customers and book calls, right? You have to control the rest. And she's built up over the last year the resources to be able to scale. That's why we're at the point now where we can actually scale up. So the closing rate this last week was something like 80%. Which is just absolutely nutty. And the reason why the closing rate was so high, meaning like 8 out of 10 calls, like literally paid her $2,000, like literally $2,000 or like over the payment plan, but the value there of that contract and sales revenue, 80%. So that means our closing percent, like our CAC has gotten to the point where our CAC is so low and the lifetime value is so high because people are loving the program. It's a high quality program. We're then upselling them and moving them over to the back end offer. So the LTV is extremely high that we're like acquiring people between like 50 to 150, maybe $200 max. And then the lifetime value on these is like, let's just say on average, like $5,000. This is where you get to predictable growth and literally printing, like literally printing money if you get this system all in place. Now, with scale and growing, there's always new bottlenecks, right? So one thing we're doing right now is we're testing more ads. We're looking at testing new variations of ads. We're thinking about ways to nurture people. We're thinking about launching some retargeting ads as our ad spend is growing. So we started, I said we started at like $20 to $30 a day. As soon as I saw those message conversions come in, it's like, I think we're spending like upwards of like $150 a day. It's like $4,500 a month on ad spend. And I want to keep scaling that, like literally aggressively, because if we can, like last week her calendar was almost like booked out. So the next bottleneck we have to figure out, and kind of like this is where we're at right now, the next phase is scaling up the ad spend, building a sales team, getting her appointment setter, like maybe another appointment setter, right, to work all these leads. So you can see very quickly how just a few step by step, kind of like the whole mind flow that happened to literally just get to the point where now we're at predictable growth, and we just keep testing new ads, scripting new ads, new audiences, target, but like just stay on the nurses. And the reason why I truly think that there is an opportunity to not only exit this business, but really just to scale it to 100K a month the next year is just the absolutely like the moat that's around the nursing audience. Like I truly think if she can become the go-to coach for nurses, it's game over. And then we're thinking even bigger things like selling to hospitals and bigger contract. Like she could literally make that happen. It all started because we got super clear on the target demo. We leaned heavily into it. We built that personal story. We identified some winning content, started the test. She was doing her own work, investing in programs, coaches, mentorships to get better at sales, build out the whole infrastructure so we don't have a leaky bucket. And now she's at the point where she has a reliable, predictable growth business where the marketing and the cost, as long as we stay within KPI, we can just scale pretty aggressively. So that is an overview. And now I'm going to shift. I'll show just a quick overview of what these ads look like, so you have an understanding like, okay, I get it. This is legit. This is 100% real. She's across the room from me. And you can kind of see the ads, so maybe you can gain some inspiration and kind of implement this into your fitness coaching business. All right, so as you can see, we're testing some variations, but June, like look, this actually June 2024. So this is March 2024. Here's some ads here. So this is March 2024. I believe this is the winning one that we've been running since, I think, honestly, March 2023, but I think we republished it. That's why it says launched in 2024. We've made some edits. We've tweaked it to get to a place where it's crushing, right? Side by side, tells the story. My schedule look like this. Maybe you can relate. Then this one is actually tap a follow. So this is a follow ad. And then we have the lead magnet one. This must be the lead magnet one here. Yep. So this is lead magnet one. So we're testing a variety of things. We have follow-ons, we have lead magnet one, and then now we're looking for direct next steps. And we're also testing some real content. We're testing shorter carousel, longer carousel. Like we're testing a bunch of things right now. But this really was the one thing that really drove a lot of that growth to try to figure out, like, let's just lean into nurses. Let's just run the ads. And then once you really got her back end all up and running, her pricing, her sales process all dialed in, she was able to obviously scale. And that's how we're in the phase of predictable growth. So if you have enjoyed this video, I encourage you to go scroll down below. And I have a current free resource called 5 Ads for Your Next 5 Clients for Fitness Coaches. My team at TVG, we fuel fitness company growth, mostly on the Shopify physical product side, but we do work with some high caliber coaches as well to do done for you marketing services. We're not business gurus. We'll execute ads. We'll run your ads. We'll create your ads with you, create VSLs, create funnels, and we'll help you scale up. So if you're interested, feel free to get that resource and also leave a link to our website down below. Check us out. Check out all the clients we work with and all the case studies. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this is value, and I'll see you guys in the next one.